Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So this is going to be a video of me working in a computer for a 2005 Jeep Wrangler. I've been trying to decipher the very dreaded problem that this computer has, or these computers have, which is the P1603 and P1604. You also will get sometimes the P0706, which is I have some of the descriptions in here. Sorry, I didn't have that ready. Let me see. Transmission range sensor rationality. Sometimes you're gonna have the battery disconnected, which is the 1684. That's You get these ones on the Wranglers, you get these ones on the Grand Cherokees. It's the same thing, and it is the PCM. So I've been trying to collect data. I have all the pinouts, and as usually I do the homework on all data. I will just go briefly because you guys already saw how I do it. Um, these computers have four connectors. Usually is a one is a black connector, two is the black itself connector with an orange stamp on it. Connector three is that's again black with white, and the connector four is the green. The ones that we usually, or I used to do these connections so I can use a scanner and make the computer talk to me on the scanner is on connector 1, the C1 black, is pin 29 is battery, pins 11 and 12 is ignition, and then grounds 9 and 18. On the same connector, C1 is where all the communication lines are, and I said all because even though these computers are, depends on the years, but Wranglers use the PCI bus, which is on pin 2 on the DLC. They also use what they call SCI, receive and transmit. You use pin 15 on the DLC, will go to pin 37 on connector 1. Pin 12 on the DLC will go to pin 21, pin 25 on connector 1. Pin 9 on the DLC will go to connector 26. Pin 7 on the DLC will go to pin 36 on connector 1. All of these ones on connector 1. And then pin 2 of the DLC, the PCI bus, is the pin number 38. On the connector 2, you don't need for any of communication. You don't need anything. If you're going to do activations or so, you will use that. But just for communications and the test that I usually do as a start to see if I can talk to the computers or no, this is what you will need to do. On connector 3, we have two powers which are going to the ASD relay. They have to be there. It's pin 19 and 28. On connector 4 green, is pins 12 and 13 are ground, and pins 19 and 28 are ASD relay ignition, right? So that's pretty much all you need for a 2004 to 2006 Wranglers. They're all going to have the same connection. What else I have in here? So that's pretty much what you need as far as connection. Let me turn the GoPro on. I've attached a GoPro here, so you guys will have a better experience as far as, let me make sure that I'm in video. Yeah, that's video. And I'm going to start recording so you guys will be able to see very close of what I do. I have the power supply already on, so the computer is on. One thing that I will show you is the ECM side of the same computer, because this is a PCM. It has the engine computer module and the transmission computer module built in one. This is my board. This is a computer that I'm, trying to repair for somebody else, and I have some other here. This is mine. So I've been playing with this one. Hopefully the light will help you guys see. I broke the connectors trying to remove. I removed one and put my own wire in and everything, but I even remove one of the microprocessors to do, the reverse engineering following the communication lines that goes all the way down to the microprocessor. So these microprocessors are the ones in charge to send the signal to activate the PCI bus, SCI, transmit and receive. Otherwise, I will not communicate. So one is for the end computer, and the other one is for the transmission. I also have the EEPROM, which is right next to this in here. I know you guys cannot see, but I will show you pretty soon on the board itself, the one computer that I got connected. But so I've been doing my homework. I follow all the paths, and I've been finding, controllers and some other little chips that are part of the equation, let's say. But the main issue is on these two microprocessors. That's is for me uh, a dead end. I can definitely get them from China. There is some guys selling it, and they're not too expensive, but the labor involved to repair something like this, at least for a guy like me, is too much. These computers, for those that are not familiar, I'm going to show you. Um, Let me get this. This is the casing of one of those computers. Let me get actually a headlight to put more light for you guys here. So hopefully you guys can see this is where that board was. This is the case of that, and it has a metal protector where, let me show it to you. So this is how it looks. Connectors will go through here, and the whole board is inside a gel. It's like a goo. This is a thermal paste that protects the computer for, water or etc., right? And it's a nightmare to remove. So again, it's too much for me to get involved and to replace something like that, which I can. I have the stencils to put them back in there, but it's you can get the computers cheaper than what I will have to charge in order to fix. But still, I like to do reverse engineering, see all the other signals and everything, and that's how you do it. I mean, you have to remove stuff from a board that you can play with, and then let me see if this one just turned off. Why do you just this thing sometimes is bad? I have battery, and is it recording? Now it's recording. Well, it's nothing in there, so I can always come back to that. So again, it's too much to get myself involved into something like this, but it's a good learning. So on this computer, and this is what I wanted to show you, the ECM part. If I try to go to the ECM, is an automatic transmission with AC. I go to data display, no communication. It asks me, is ignition on? And I can see the PCI bus on, and it was communicating for a brief time. I was able to get the codes and everything out, and then it stopped working, which is what happens with these ones. So if I go over to the transmission side, I'm able to communicate. It's testing the PCI bus, and it got in. I can go over to data display, transmission data. It's collecting the data, and it will. So I can even customize this. I can deselect, and I will just select like the transmission temperature sensor, which I have a potentiometer in there. I'm gonna select the ignition and switch batteries, and then what else? Other limp in mode, which is again where these computers get the problem. Let me get the scanner close to you guys so I don't have to put a screen recorder, which is truly not working too good for this. Not sure if it's going to pick it up. Well, believe me, it says limp in. It says yes. Transmission temperature voltage is in 153, and I can change it, and it doesn't change the temperature on Fahrenheit right here. It shows us 1023. I can change that voltage, which I have a potentiometer in there. Let me change the voltage. See if you guys can see that there. I was in 153. I'm gonna go up actually. I'm gonna put them into like 2.5 volts. I'm not sure if you guys can see that. Oh, that's actually perfect in there. So you can see it's limping. Yes, transmission temperature voltage is in 243, but it still shows the transmission temperature as 1023. Logic of the microprocessor, something is not changing. I can see the voltage change as you change the temperature. Again, it's a bad computer. It's a bad computer. It's not a transistor. It's not um, a diode. It's nothing you can replace to change that. When you're losing, a 5-volt reference or something like that, yes, you can check for a transistor, check for a diode, or check for a bad resistor or open resistor. Not in this case. So my concern, or what I wanted to show you, which is part of what I'm doing today, is I wanted to show you the communication internally on the computer, and also this will help you diagnose a card when you have no communication with it, with the TCM or the PCM, so you can tell, okay, this is a bad computer. So let's make this work. I want to show you. So I'm going to go, hopefully, let me touch the screen in here, get this board close to here. I have oh, I forgot to tell you, I'm using the Picoscope 6402. That thing is beautiful. I love Picoscope software. It's just so intuitive. It's so easy to work. So I have my own drawing, and here I have also saved some of the information. This is how I do it. So we have I couldn't find any data sheet or anything for this. I have one for the microprocessor, which is very basic, but I couldn't find anything very specific. So it looks like almost like an EEPROM, and it's right here. So I love this. Look at the size of these leads. It's perfect. Plus the tip is a needle, and it pushes in, so it doesn't leave not even a mark, which I love that. So on here we have the PCI bus. It gets right in here. So now you can see that we have the PCI bus in there. Let me actually put the trigger in B, like that. It will be a lot better. I'm gonna go full screen. So the PCI bus, I'm going to show you one thing. Hopefully I can do this. Yeah. No. What happened? Okay, right there. All right, one thing that I want to show you is I'm going to put a cursor. I'm going to stop this 1 second so you guys see what I'm talking about. So I put a cursor. Let me zoom in a little more. I'm going to move the channel a little bit. All right, so this higher part of the communication on the PCI bus is because I'm talking to the transmission module, transmission side. When the transmission side is not like talking, all the signals are the same height. I'm going to show you that in 1 second. Let me go out of here. So look at that signal right there. I'm going to exit from the transmission, and now look at that. It stays at the same height. Eventually goes twice and one time. But you can see, so if I go back into the captures, again, I cannot do this with the Fluke. Fluke is a great tool, but Pico, I love Pico. My eyes are a little tired from looking into that small screen. They don't have a software to actually share HDMI to see it live. You can transfer files and, operate it on the computer, and you have to pay extra for that, but Picoscope is the best. So as you can see, we only have two packages in here. Sometimes just one. Like if I go to the next one, just one, and it's like that. I'm going to run it again. So now it's live, and I'm going to go again inside the transmission and see right now how it goes to like 3, 2, 3. So it's a lot more active. And not only that, we have this higher portion that goes over the 7.5 volts. It is for a little bit because, or it's not too high of a voltage difference. Oh, I'm using the blue one, I'm sorry. Let me start this 1 second because I'm so used to use the blue one for the measurements. So we got 7.6 and the other one is so it's 235 millivolts difference. That is the communication plus it's one more, right? But that one is a lot higher. It's a 7.8 compared to 7.6. So you need to have, when you're checking communications on these computers, you will have to check this. I mean, this is the PCI bus cable pin 2 on the DLC. You need to see that. Otherwise, the transmission will not be communicating. So that's instantly. I'm giving you guys a trick to just check, is the transmission even talking to you? Check for that in the PCI bus. Try to go on the scanner. If it doesn't go, because sometimes the scanner might not be reading, and I have that on the Altel, wasn't even communicating, and it was active. But now I know what to look for. The other thing that I want to show is, again, on this same chip that looks like an EEPROM, we have this pin right here, which mimics exactly the transmission communication. You see 2 packages, 3 packages, that is for the transmission. Then this pin on top in here, let me see if I can put the needles perfectly. You see how we got now the blue is on that other pin, or like, let's call that an EEPROM. It's not an EEPROM, right? You see that is for the engine computer. So the engine computer is trying to communicate, but it's not working. But that one is this one for the TCM. Again, you guys can see it's a perfect mirror of what is happening on the red line, which is the PCI bus. The other one, it does not. It just follows the last package of information. And the activity is active. I can also check that, like if I collect that information, I mean, not information. If I put this pin in here, I gotta get my glasses to do this. Sorry, guys. So these same, that one is a 5 to 0 volts. So remember, and it's very important because you can see there is very high and then goes down to 0. The other one is in reverse. It goes from 0 volts to 5 volts. So we got two different communication lines. And let me see if I find it again. Yeah, I think it's right here. You see that's exactly the same signal, and that is under the first microprocessor. So that microprocessor is sending that signal over to this chip to create the PCI bus. And the other signal, if I am mistaken, is right here. No, that's something else. Trying to look for it. Am I in the right one? I know it's in here too. No. Trying to look for it. I forgot the pins. I have this one marked already with even colors. So it should be next to the black one. And there's the third one. Okay, so I was in the wrong spot. So it's right here. Yep, that's it. You see, that's exactly the other signal. So again, we got this signal, which you guys will see if I can nail it. Okay, it's a completely different communication in between these two. That one is right here. Yeah. So that bottom one, blue channel, is I'm on that EEPROM. Let's call EEPROM, right? So make sure I'm hearing it right. So the 520 volts goes to, let's call that microprocessor 2, and then the 0 to 5 goes to microprocessor 1, as we can see here. See how this one mirror each other? And this is the one, it has very minimum communication. When the computer is working correctly, these two mirror itself like negative and positive. So I'm going to go now right here. We got one signal, and this should be the other signal. And you see we have not that happening. They should be the same packages, and it's not. I guess, well, also it's not the same because I'm in the computer of the TCM side, right? So let me get off the TCM, all right? That stopped the PCI bus information coming out of here. Now we got the same on both, you see? But so when I'm going to the ECM, this is like at idle. It's actually no communication because nothing is happening. When I go to the TCM, look at how that signal would change. You see now? It's starting to go more packages, and I can show you from here how now the red, which is on the right side, TCM side microprocessor, has more packages of information. If I go back to the engine computer side, sometimes it let me in, sometimes it doesn't. And I would like to see that working now. If I let it cool down for a little bit, it will work. But again, this is, guys, uh, how I do it. It's not easy. Sometimes it's like in this case, it's just a dead end. Um, I'm gonna let those just go down no matter what. It's nothing gonna happen in there. So what I wanted to say, I wanted to share is sometimes you hit a wall, but it doesn't matter. This is a learning process. There's no books about this. It's not a catalog that you can say, okay, let me get the 2005 Jeep Wrangler schematics. They don't give it to you. So the only way that you can do it is, like in my case, get one bed computer, start taking chips out, reverse engineer, and find out, can we do this? It will work to really work on that. Because right now I know I can tell you what is the part involved into the crank and cam signals, into the coils, into the injectors. Those I can fix. But P1603, P1604, P706, no. That's just like if you are in limp in mode, you got the first thing that you will notice on the Jeep Wranglers is the temperature sensor going to 1203 like this one is. You got a problem with the PCM. But otherwise, it's repairable. So again, this is not a communication on the computer side. I'm going to stop this and I'm going to stop this recording. I'm not going to be doing anything in here more. So let me stop that. I have saved, um, and I'm sorry, that I couldn't show this before, but all these are information, my files from this Wrangler. So I have some of the information. Let me see, pin 7 of the DLC. Like these ones are captures that I did when the computer was talking, but not internally. I did that on the DLC, which is okay. This is how you will, like, this is what you're expecting to see, and that's what I save this data. So this is pin 7 on the DLC, and then pin 12 on the DLC. Let me find the data for those. So pin 7 goes to 36, which is SCI PCM transmit, which is part of the engine computer. And then pin 12 goes to 25, which is SCI PCM or engine computer. Not, let's not call that PCM, but that's how they have it on the wiring diagrams. It's actually the ECM receive and the ECM transmit. So these are the way those signals should look. And this is again the nice thing about Picoscope. You can just come back and check this at any time, and you can see that's what I looked before as a just as square waves in there. You can see it's a lot of more information that what we were seeing in there. So this is a better capture for you guys to see. So it is communication. So when you're talking to the engine computer, that's how it looks. I wanted to see that internally in the computer. Let me turn the computer off so I will not short anything. And I'm gonna turn the scanner off. Now we can just talk about, what we have here on this on the screen. I'm gonna turn the screen a little more for you guys. Let me make sure that you guys can see that better. Trying to get you close enough. Yeah, I think that's good enough. So again, that's pin 7 and 12. I also saved more so you guys can see more. I had the pin 9 and 15 while I'm talking to the ECM. As you can see, these are just stay high. It's just no packages of information, but they do change from low to high. That's why I save that information. What else I have here? I already explained that. That's the difference on the height. That's what I was trying to show here. Yeah, that's pretty much all that's necessary. And here I saved some of that data that you were, that I was showing you in here with the two signals, how they change when we have the transmission communication. That's all is in there. And guys, this is pretty much all I wanted to show you here today. Is again, it's a little bit of a dead end on repairing it because if it's this codes, there's nothing I can do. But it's a nice learning curve. Sometimes it's the only way you can do it, or I mean, with this ones, it's the only way you can do it, unless you have somebody like me that likes to share information. Not many do this because it's like they think they're the only ones that deserve to fix things. But no, I like to share my information. I think the knowledge is to share. I love doing that. All right, guys. This is hopefully not too long of a video. Thank you for watching, and I hope that you like the information. See you next time. Bye bye.